Horsey Divers, welcome to Facebook Live. Thank you for tuning in. It is November 9th, 2021, and we are excited for a great presentation for tonight. So everyone say hello to Dylan Waters. Hey, Dylan.
Hey, guys.
All right, you guys know the drill. Let us know where you're listening in from. Say hello to us in the comments section. Are you here in Florida? Are you outside of Florida? Are you outside of the country? We want to know who is listening in tonight. All right, and as you guys know, we always have a theme month. So for November, we are doing Give Thanks to Your Oceans. And the reason why, guys, well, we have Thanksgiving in November, so why not be thankful for the things that we love to do, which is scuba diving, which involves going diving in the ocean, where we need to be aware of what's going on in the oceans and how to help keep it clean and help to keep the animals safe and plentiful so that we can see them when we go scuba diving. So there's lots of great events planned. If you guys check out in the comment section, I'll put the link. We have beach cleanup dive. We also have other presentations about corals and about four oceans, and also about using your underwater photography for conservation. So we've got lots of great presentations and events going on. So make sure that you go to www.force-e.com and check them out. Also, you can see on that page, we have lots of items that are very eco-friendly, and that is going to be tonight's presentation. So I'm going to go there in just a second, but let me reverse. If you go to our website and you go to the event tab, make sure that you register for tonight. We're not doing any kind of a giveaway raffle like we normally do, but if you register for tonight, you guys are going to get a special offer code, and I can't tell you what it is. So that's why you're going to want to register. We're keeping the registration open until 7:30, so make sure you go over there. I'll send the link in the comment section, and go and register so you can get that special link so that you can shop online and get something really exciting. All right? So everybody gives me thumbs up, give me a smiley face, give me the heart emoji. Let me know that you're enjoying tonight's presentation. And here we are with Dylan Waters. Dylan's from Henderson Wetsuits, and he has a fantastic presentation that is prepared for you guys about how manufacturers of diving equipment are now going green. So let's go ahead and start. Hey, Dylan, how's it going?
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
Awesome. All right. I'm going to bring up your presentation so you can...
Perfect. Let me get it started. Can you see it? Perfect.
Yes, we can see it.
Yes. Awesome. There we go. Alright. So I will get it started here in just a moment with this slideshow. But like Nicole said, my name is Dylan Waters. I am from Henderson Wetsuits. I am here today to present to you guys on a new product from Henderson, Greenprene. So Greenprene is Henderson's answer to an ongoing problem that we're seeing among multiple industries today, and that is your carbon and environmental footprints. Most companies are, I would say wetsuit companies, are trying to find a better solution for what they have been doing. Some wetsuits we'll get into are, some companies are making limestone. My sound is funky.
There we go. Hold on. All right. Now your sound sounds much better. Everybody agree? Can everyone hear Dylan better? Okay.
Let's see. Can you hear me better?
Okay. So can you do me a favor on your PowerPoint, on the bottom right, there's like a little icon to go larger.
Full screen?
Yep, that one.
All right.
Okay. Now I think you're... Yes, everyone's saying it sounds better. Okay, I'm gonna jump off. So go ahead and can you just restart?
Yep, yeah, of course. I can go ahead and restart.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, so from the beginning, take a sip of water and we will get going. Okay, so my name is Dylan Waters. Like Nicole said, I am from Henderson Wetsuits. Henderson is among, I would say, I mean, there's probably more than 15 or 20 wetsuit companies, but among the 5 big players, and among those big players, many of them are moving towards a more environmental friendly mindset. They're starting to be more conscious of their environmental footprints, their carbon footprints, and as divers, we should be more aware of that as well. So today we are going to talk about Henderson's solution to that, and then go over, the future of that product. We're going to talk about a little bit the differences in a green product and what makes it green, and how Greenprene falls into that, and what it does better than the other ones, and Henderson's history within green products, and a little bit of expansion on why they are actually, why neoprene itself is not good for the environment. And then we will go into the materials, how it's made, and just, like I said, an idea of what products are coming in the future for Henderson with everything that's going on this year and last year, obviously, with COVID and manufacturing issues. There are things to be desired still, obviously, because we haven't had the time and the opportunity to do it. So let's go ahead and get started. And so while I'm on full screen, by the way, I cannot see the questions. So if there is something important or something, just somebody say something and let me know. All right. So as divers, we know that a wetsuit is an essential piece of gear for us. However, the manufacture and disposal of wetsuits do come with an environmental footprint themselves. So just throwing a few numbers out there for you. According to the 2016 report by Grandview Research, the wetsuit industry in itself is worth is estimated to be worth $1.2 billion by 2022, which is next year. We've sold enough, I would say, this year overall between all the companies to probably have met that this year, just because we had a lot more people start diving. But scuba diving in itself makes up 30% of that figure. So take that into account. We buy a lot of wetsuits as divers. Surfers do, commercial, this is sport diving. Sport diving wetsuits makes up 30% of that figure. So we are buying and buying and buying wetsuits, but neoprene is non-biodegradable, and it's almost impossible to recycle at scale, especially at the scale we are currently using it at. There are many companies out there turning wetsuits into secondhand products such as yoga mats, dog beds, things of that nature, but it is definitely not being done to the scale as what we are using it and what it's being put into the landfills at. Also adding to all of that, there is the carbon intensive process that is used to make neoprene. It's a petroleum-based product, and we use the petroleum fossil fuels to make it. So there's a lot that goes into neoprene rubber. So that leads us to Greenprene, the idea and why. Henderson has been making neoprene for over 50 years. They were one of the beginning manufacturers. They used to mail wetsuits to individuals in boxes and have them, glue them together and have a custom wetsuit at home. It all started pretty much with Henderson when it comes to the sport diver wetsuit. Because of that, they have had a very long history of seeing this industry, have watched it grow, and have seen the lack of ability to recycle that neoprene. So their overall goal for the past, 50 years, well, 40 of that 50 years was making wetsuits that lasted longer than everyone else's, so that people would buy wetsuits less often and throw them away less often. 10 years ago, actually a little bit longer than that, they started thinking of alternate ways to do this, to combat this issue of the neoprene issue. And they made their first limestone wetsuit. This, this was a great step, and it was copied almost immediately by a few. Patagonia has been trying to redefine that limestone wetsuit for the past 10 years. There are other companies currently coming out with limestone-based products, and it's definitely a greener option in the sense. But as I was talking to, I got Joe Pollock, one of the vice presidents of Henderson. He gave me a quote. He said the process to make that suit uses petroleum in mining the limestone and produces acetylene gas from the limestone for production uses, and it uses significant energy. The energy-intensive process essentially negated any positive results from not directly using the petroleum-based neoprene. So we were almost, in a sense, using the exact same amount of energy and not really reducing our carbon or environmental footprint. We had a little bit of a cleaner product, but it was almost just as dirty to make. That did not sit right with them, so they pulled the product, I think, within a year. And once they pulled that product, they went back to the drawing board. When they went back to the drawing board, that was pretty much the start of Greenprene. I can easily say it has been in production, thought process, and redone and everything one way or another in the past 10 years. For 5 of those years, they had a product made that they were testing. So for the past 5 years, it's pretty much been in testing. There have been tweaks made because of the testing, but the suit has gone through extensive testing, evaluation, and third-party testing for its actual bio-preferred status. So what is the Greenprene wetsuit program? The Greenprene suit is a program in itself, and this is where Henderson wants to make sure that it makes a difference and it separates itself from everyone else. It's not just a bio-preferred wetsuit. It's not just a green wetsuit, and we'll get into what makes it that soon. But the entire program was designed to be sustainable and have a sustainable product life. The wetsuit is made of a bio-based Greenprene insulating foam, a recycled exterior fabric laminate, and the interior fabric laminate is also a recycled material. The boxes are shipped and packaged, so they're all recycled, and we'll learn some more about that as well. But everything from head to toe in this suit is sustainable, and that's where they wanted that goal to be, is not just one product. They want it all to move that way. So the materials. What is Greenprene made of? So Greenprene is 100% neoprene-free insulating foam. It's the easiest way to explain it. It's sustainable, insanely warm, super stretchy, ultra durable insulating foam. But the Greenprene is actually the foam that is used in the insulation, which is what neoprene is used for as well. So it is the insulating material in between an inner and outer layer. So what that does mean is there's the possibility of using that insulating foam in other products for other companies, for our own, possibly in the future, with that insulating foam, even if they were not using the same manufacturing product on the inside or the outside. This is important because we made it to where people can take steps. If a company, a surf company wants to come to us and says we want to make a green product, we could provide them with the insulating foam, and they wouldn't have to, they would have to do their own inner and outer layer. With surfing, it's much different. The Greenprene material itself also is very highly UV resistant. This test is actually very funny for me. They nailed it to Henderson is in New Jersey, right? Like, it's in this small little town, and they have a bunch of picnic tables.
outside for lunch, and they nailed it to a picnic table to test the UV resistance for a long period of time. I'm not certain on the exact period of time, but it was months on months and months just left in the sun to see if it retained that same exact color and didn't fade and look how most of our wetsuits do over time. So not only was it UV resistant, they noticed that it was significantly lighter in weight, which makes it all the much easier to put on. Lighter wetsuit giving you the same, or if not better, warmth is always a better solution for us as divers. The material itself is formulated from deproteinized natural rubber and has other additives such as sugarcane, plant oils, and oyster shells. What this means is individuals with a neoprene allergy can try the Greenprene material and possibly not have that allergic reaction that they do to neoprene. There are a lot that goes into the allergies that some people experience with the neoprene. Sometimes it's with the glue and not actually the neoprene rubber. But if it is an actual neoprene allergy, this suit is an alternate solution that will not cause allergic reactions. It is a natural deproteinized rubber. We can send out little sleeves for people to try in front of their doctor is kind of what we recommend in that situation as well. So if there is someone on this call that's allergic to neoprene, and that's one of the reasons they're interested, let them know at 4C, and they will call me, and we'll get a sleeve sent to you to try on in front of your doctor, just depending on how severely your allergic reaction to neoprene is. The additives, the sugarcane and the plant oils. The plant oils was to replace the petroleum-based oil that was used. The oyster shells were actually selected as a natural sustainable source of calcium carbonate. So that is actually used to strengthen it and gives it its rigidity. So I'm going to actually pull out a suit really quick, and I'll show you the box and everything shortly. But the suit itself, you'll see, is super stretchy and also bounces back very, very well. I know I'm a little, probably a small square on your screen, but we'll go over that in just a minute. All right, so the oyster shells give it its rigidity. And then the plant oils was to substitute the petroleum, and then the sugarcane gives its helps with the stretch, and then also gives its softness. So, other than the Greenprene insulating foam, they had to also combat the inner and outer layers, the fabric laminate layers, that holds the foam in place, and also is the rigid point of the suit that keeps the rubber and the actual insulating stuff from being pricked and popped and everything like that. So the exterior fabric laminate that they chose was Aqua Silk, which is a recycled material and is also made from recycled water bottles. This fabric has been tested and selected for the durability, but it was also tested by 2 different external companies and was certified, Ecotech certified and azo free. So the product itself is another sustainable portion of the suit, as well as the internal laminate layer, the Biospan. So the Biospan is made from recycled polyester and nylon, as well as recycled water bottles, just like the Aqua Silk, and it is super rigid. I will say the Biospan is one of my favorite parts of the suit because it's also very, very soft and comfortable. It is like a little fleece layer is the best way I can describe it, but it's much, I would say, looks tougher than fleece, but it's soft. It's really, really soft. So the Biospan is one of my favorite parts of this suit, just because it makes it so much more comfortable. So the packaging, once again, the packaging is what helps make this suit its entire product. So they are all packaged and shipped in recycled cardboard boxes. Each suit is hand wrapped with recycled paper. The box or the cardboard cores that keep the suit from getting crushed and crinkled and creased are actually recycled as well. And then the hang tags, as well as all the ink on the outer portion of the boxes as well, are made with soy-based inks. So every portion of this from head to toe is sustainable and or recycled. So that leads me to the USDA Bio-Preferred logo, and I'm actually going to go back 2 slides real quick just to show you this. So the suit, the Greenprene suit, has been tested and approved by the USDA Bio-Preferred program as a USDA Bio-Preferred product. So what that means is, I believe the last I checked, we were 50% and applying for a higher level, but what the USDA does is it evaluates your product, evaluates how you make your product, where it's made, and that's what those other 2 external organizations, third-party organizations, do as well. But they test and evaluate all portions of the manufacturing and everything like that. What this also got us labeled as is a federal purchasing product. So if the U.S. government ever decides to go with a green wetsuit, Henderson Greenprene will be that choice, which is always a good thing to know. And that also, I have not gotten, don't know this for sure, but we do have the ability to make wetsuits in the U.S. at the Henderson factory. So if it did come back to the point where we had to make them for the military, I believe it could be a U.S. made suit as well. There are lots of possibilities that come with Greenprene and the future of Greenprene, especially with how well it is doing, despite everything going on. All right. So what products comes next, and what comes next in general for Greenprene and for Henderson and with everything in this product line. So I've been speaking with them obviously many times about this and much more over the past few weeks, just because shipments are starting to come back in. During pandemic, Henderson primarily wanted to focus on getting wetsuits. They wanted to make sure we could get the actual Greenprene products. And currently the only product that does come with the Greenprene insulating foam is the Greenprene 3mm, 5mm, and 7mm full wetsuits. There are no accessories currently. There are no vests, boots, hoods, gloves. And to start, they wanted to sample and make sure the market was accepting of a green product, despite having that green price tag that a lot of people associate with it. That has not been the case. The people have accepted it and fully been buying it and buy into being better for our planet. So the product has been doing well, and I think they are looking into bringing in and expanding the line. The last I'd heard, it was the vests, the hoods, and gloves, but the date that I had heard was possibly end of 2022, maybe beginning of 2023. So we do have some time before that. Now, I will say I believe there are other companies interested in the insulating foam in itself. So once that expands, their possibilities are endless at this point. And then what can we do to help expand this product line and help the green product lines among all neoprene products and all scuba products in general? And that is this is one of my favorite quotes. Just, divers can help encourage retailers to continue to develop alternates to fossil fuel based neoprene by voting with their dollars. The purchasing behavior of a dive consumer will ultimately determine if a green alternative to neoprene is important and a benefit to our planet. Buy green if you're going to buy. I'm not saying throw away your wetsuit you're currently using and then buy Greenprene. What I'm saying is use what you have, and as long as you possibly can, and buy green as your next product on anything that's available. This is this is something that me and Joe have talked about multiple times, and it's something that me, being a consumer myself and also have worked at a dive store in the past, didn't always understand fully. But now working for manufacturers, if they make a product like this, it has to be purchased for it to continue. Many companies have tried in the past and never had a product that was worth sticking. I think Greenprene is one of those that will stick. Just the everything behind it, the enthusiasm, the current sales of it, how hard it is for us to keep it in stock currently. I think Greenprene will be that product, at least for Henderson and for the dive industry, that starts the wave. Okay, that is the end of my slideshow. I do have questions, of course. If anyone has questions, I can answer some.
All right, there we go. Hey, Dylan. Give me
Hey.
1 second here because I'm just trying to pull something up here.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I actually found a video by Henderson about Greenprene.
Oh, yeah, definitely play that.
Okay, cool. I'm going to hide you for a second.
Okay.
And then bring it in. There it is. And there we go. All right, guys. So here is the video. I'm going to play it. Hopefully you guys can hear it.
In 2014, Henderson became secretly involved in the development, refinement, and testing of a revolutionary product designed to replace neoprene in wetsuits. The result of this project is a new insulating foam material available in thickness from 1 through 7 millimeters that will replace neoprene in wetsuits. This new material is actually superior to neoprene. It is lighter, more durable, and is warmer at depth. It is as soft and comfortable as any wetsuit material Henderson has ever made. What is even more amazing? This wetsuit material is made from completely sustainable plant-based products, like sugarcane, post-consumed oyster shells, and deproteinized natural rubber. The material has been tested and is approved by the Biobased product. This insulating material is 100% neoprene-free. The material may also be a hypoallergenic alternative for divers who currently are allergic to neoprene. It's backed by the same 10-year warranty as all Henderson wetsuits. Stephen Frank has explored the oceans for nearly 40 years. His extensive career has given him a unique perspective on the environmental issues facing our planet, especially its coral reefs.
So about a year ago, I was part of a select group of divers that were asked by Henderson to test this new suit. Actually, they wouldn't tell us anything about it. I've known the guys at Henderson for decades, and I said, come on, give me a nudge, nudge, wink, wink. What's this about? They wouldn't say anything, but what they did say is, we need you to do 30 dives. And there was an Excel spreadsheet with a lot of indicators about the quality of a wetsuit, the performance of a wetsuit. And we were asked to rate how this did over the course of these dives.
Steve thought this wetsuit was just a newer version of Henderson's popular wetsuit styles. He had no idea at the time, but he was actually testing the dive industry's first 100% neoprene-free, sustainable wetsuit. It was a secretive project, being developed by Henderson for several years. Steve was diving in one of the first prototype suits. The rubber in the wetsuit was not made from neoprene, but from all natural products like sugarcane, plant oils, oyster shells, and something called deproteinized natural rubber. The interior and exterior fabrics on Steve's wetsuit are made from recycled water bottles. Interestingly, while Steve was testing the wetsuits, the United States Department of Agriculture was reviewing the specialized rubber used in the wetsuit. In early 2019, the USDA certified this new rubber as a bio-preferred product.
So I was happy to test the suit. As it turned out, I was going to the Red Sea on a liveaboard, so that was the suit I took. It was a 3 mil suit, perfect for the 80, 82 degree water that I was diving in. It was easy to don. It didn't fill. It was good abrasion resistance. But the thermal efficiency, I think that was the biggest thing for me, because over the course of 30 dives, it was as warm at the end as it was at the beginning. Not every wetsuit has been like that in my experience. Even the packaging, I think, tied into their desire to have a totally green and sustainable product. So they have recycled cardboard, and the hang tags were printed with a soy-based ink. No plastic in the packaging, no styrofoam in the packaging. And so from start to finish, Henderson had the vision that they should have a product for the consumer that was totally sustainable and plant-based.
And as a member of the Coral Restoration Foundation Board of Directors, Steve is actively pursuing new science and technology that could protect the oceans.
Because of my involvement with the Coral Restoration Foundation, I sit on the board and I see the good work that they do. I thought there might be a really nice synergy between Henderson and CRF, because they're like-minded people looking to embrace the health of our oceans. So I brought them together, and it was a good fit. Henderson has agreed to support them in the future, providing suits for their in-water work planting corals.
Henderson Greenprene wetsuits will be available to the public for purchase at authorized Henderson retailers throughout the USA beginning in the fall of 2019. Henderson plans to offer men's and women's jumpsuits in 3, 5, and 7 millimeter to start, and expand the line in 2020 with accessories and additional wetsuit styles. And to wrap things up, all Henderson Greenprene products will be packaged using only recycled cardboard and paper products. You have a choice. Will your next wetsuit be green?
All right, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring Dylan back in, and I actually pulled up the 4C website, and we do have these suits for sale at 4C. You can buy them either on our website, or you can come into the store and buy them at our stores. And we had a couple of questions for you, Dylan. So first of all, if you haven't, you kind of saw in the video what the suits look like. They have black, pretty much colors, and then the color is black, and then it has I'll pull this one up. On the shoulders, it has this like bluish green, I don't know if you want to call them squares, like this like weaving looking material. So it's got a really pretty look to it, and that's what the men's and women's both have that on they're pretty much on the shoulders. Yeah. So that is the Henderson Greenprene suit. Oh, you have one with you. There we go. Yep. Let's make you bigger so everyone can see it.
Perfect.
There you go. All right, there it is in the flesh. There it is. Yep. Beautiful. So you guys don't see me wear wetsuits that often, but I actually have one. I'm gonna start wearing it soon when the water gets a little chillier. But it's definitely a really pretty suit, and it's very smooth, very easy to get on. So really quick, we wanted to know, you said the Greenprene wetsuits, where are they currently being made at?
So I'm going to have to verify, but I do know our main factory is in China, and we had to outsource for the actual foam portion of that suit. So I think it is still in China or somewhere in that general area, and then imported into and made with our other, imported and shipped with our other suits.
Okay, so but you did say that there is that potential to bring it and make it in the U.S.
Yeah. So there is. They currently do make wetsuits here. We don't get the foam shipped here in pieces to make the suits yet, but we could.
Okay. We have another good question come in. Let's be honest, everybody. There's two types of divers. There's ones that pee in their wetsuit and ones that lie about peeing in their wetsuits.
That's right.
So in the regular neoprene wetsuits, there's things like sink to stink and some other types of deodorizing chemicals that we can use. What is something that we can use to clean this suit?
I would say use the same products you're currently using to clean it. One of the biggest issues I will say, and I don't think any of you would do this, but the biggest issue I think with people getting new products is they think they can put them in the washer and dryer, which is a huge no-no with neoprene and greenprene. Definitely greenprene though. And then just, I mean, clean it, hang it up, rinse it, soak it, and hang it up to dry inside out, and then flip it out, and you're good to go.
Yeah. And a good, if you're still, because you're buying the suit because you want to be more eco-friendly, you can use eco-friendly
The cleaners, yeah.
Cleaners.
Definitely.
So we have some of those at 4C too. So
Yeah.
Another question is a regular suit versus the greenprene suit. What is the buoyancy differences?
Okay, so that's a good question. I would say from my personal experience and from other people, I don't wear weight without. So without a greenprene, I don't wear weight. I threw on a couple extra pounds just to have it on me when I took it, because I've currently heard it is slightly more buoyant. Like a couple of pounds in fresh water, and 4 to 6 pounds in salt water. That's with like a 5 and a 7. The 3 I have not noticed nearly that bad. But I do know with 5 and 7s, people are adding 4 to 6 pounds sometimes with the weight. But they do say partially because the neoprene's not, or the rubber's not compressing as much, so it's not, you're not getting as negative the farther you go down like you normally would. But it also, in return, that is keeping you warmer. So it's kind of like a back and forth with that. So it does require, I would say, a little bit more weight, slightly more buoyant.
Okay. Yeah, that actually just brings up a thing that we as dive instructors teach. Like, usually after about 100 dives and you compress that neoprene, those bubbles in those neoprene, you start losing your thermo properties of that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this doesn't have as much of
as much. Yeah, as much of that is what they're noticing so far, is it's not compressing as much, which in turn should mean it lasts longer. It does mean it's warmer, and we're hoping that also means it lasts longer too.
Awesome. And some people have asked, as far as like the stitching and the way it's all stitched, is it, if you get a snag, does it start to go, or does this have a special stitching pattern?
So they're all double glued and blind stitched, so which that is included in the warranty as well. So if you have a stitch going, I would say Henderson with stitching is more likely to re-sew it for you if you mail it back at no charge. So they're really big fans of fixing suits right in house, since they have the factory there. And I will say any suit you have fixed there is usually much more durable. Like it's like a super seam. They do a really good job there. But if a seam went, it's going to depend on where. If it's a long thread like that hasn't been tied in between, that one could unravel a couple of inches. But it's not going to take away from the integrity of the suit, because it is double glued and blind stitched. So even without that stitching, you do have 2 layers of inner and outer glue, actually keeping water from going through that seam.
Awesome. Okay, so obviously we saw in the video they were saying, these wetsuits will be out in this time. Well, obviously they're out.
They're out. Yep.
And hopefully in 2020 that you'll have other products. We know there's not, but however, Dima's coming up. So Dylan, give us the dirt. We're going to Dima. What can we expect to see at Dima? Give us a highlight.
So at Dima, I mean, we all know how things are this year. We will be at Dima just primarily because of greenprene and everything there. We wouldn't miss it just because we're not going to miss showing that to anyone around the world that's going to come to Dima and see it. And we're going to be talking to people about what's to come. I don't think they're going to have any samples just because of the shipping containers and everything, just making everything hard right now. But they will be talking about the products that will be coming. I actually think a thinner suit will be one of the next products too, like a 1.5, like we have among our other lines too, which will be really popular in Florida and in the Caribbean. So I think a 1.5 and a shorty, because a shorty is it's pretty easy for them to make based on our normal cuts anyways. So shorties will most likely be the next progression, and then accessories would likely come after that. Vests, boots, anything like that.
Awesome. Well, we are looking forward to those products, and we're looking forward to carrying them at 4C. So, guys, stay tuned, and we will obviously give you updates on our social media when we get those products in. And if you guys want any information about this suit, come on into 4C. Our sales reps are there. They can give you information and get you fitted, see if you like it, and start diving with it. And also, I talked to you guys about a special offer. Did you go on and make sure that you registered for tonight's event? It was in the comments section. So make sure that you register because you're going to get a awesome deal, and it's only for 24 hours. So go ahead and register on our website, www.force-e.com. Go to the event for tonight, hit that tab. You have until 7:30 to register. All right, well, Dylan, thank you so much for a great presentation and letting us learn about what the dive industry is doing to make more bio-based products so that we can continue to help save the earth.
Of course, it was a pleasure talking to everyone, and you guys had great questions. And one thing I will say for anybody thinking about buying one that does already have a Henderson suit, if you imagine the comfort of the current Henderson suit you have, this suit amplifies it. This suit is one of the most comfortable Henderson suits I've ever worn. So definitely give it a try. Go in 4C and try it on at least. Feel it.
Definitely. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. And like we said, we have great presentations lined up. This Thursday, we have the local photographer talking about photography and ocean conservation. So make sure you tune in. All right. Thank you, Dylan. Have a great day. See
Thank you, guys. Bye.